Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Welcome back. In this episode, Hope in Difficult Times, you will learn a lot of ways to keep your hope up and keep going through tough times.
Hard times create strong men.
Strong men create good times.
Good times create weak men.
And weak men create hard times.
This is a really good quote that is true both on the individual level and according to society. I think in an individual level, this is a process. When you go through hard times, you become strong. Then maybe you go for easy times, good times, and then you become weak. And then you have to go through hard times again, and then you become strong. So this is a circle of life, but also accordingly to society, this is true according to what periods of time are we going through. And what do you think? Where are we at now, Joakim?
I believe that weak men create hard times. So I believe that now we are in hard times. And I believe that start in the COVID. People locked down all the world, businesses went bad, economy dropped, and people didn't meet each other. Much more people get much more problem. So I think that was the start of hard times. And the economic in the world have been bad, and the interest rate have got skyrocket. So it's been a very tough time for the people in the world now. And that's the creator of weak men will lead.
And as you say, COVID created so much issues for people. When they isolated us, they made it difficult to find a partner, to create a life, all of these things, you know. You weren't allowed to meet your family. You weren't allowed to go out at different periods of times. And this created a lot of issues. My opinion is that COVID was man-made. It wasn't a bat in a Chinese market. It had nothing to do with that. It was man-made to control people, for people to leave digital tracks everywhere they went, for people to tell the government, I met this and this and this person. Yes, I'll stay inside my house. I won't go out. I think that COVID was a crazy time. It was supposed to make people weak, to make mental health worse. And all of the focus areas today is to create confusion and issues and weak men. So I believe the same, that we are in that period of the quote. But what is good is that the next period will be that hard times create strong men. So strong men will come out of this. And a lot of this is what Andrew Tate talks about, that we need to be strong. We need to step up. We need to talk our opinion. We need to do this and focus about this. The important things: religion, faith, training, mental health, doing the right things, keeping ourselves to the higher standards. Don't fall short of all the things that they're trying to create with distance and isolation and all of these things. So I have hope for the future. I hope that we're going to enter this new era very soon.
I hope so too. It's a great message, Andrew Tate said. People have to be tougher, have to be better and stand up more for themselves. And that's absolutely what's gonna create better times. So it's a good message. And hopefully when in the future, when we're gonna create better times again, we will have it long. And hopefully it can change a lot of systems in the world also now. And I'm very excited about Donald Trump gonna be president again. I think he will be a very good leaders, and I hope things will be better and a lot of things will change and we start to have focus on the good and important things again. So we're excited for the future.
I hope so as well. I have hope. I'm hopeful for the future, and I think that we all have an individual responsibility as well. I've been talking about this earlier because it's so important for me to not fall a victim of the matrix, to watch what all the influencers are doing and to worry about who is going to go out of this reality show next week. Or I really don't care. It doesn't bring any value into my life, so I don't focus on it at all. And I think that for your own happiness, you need to decide what you're going to put your mind into. Because if you don't make an active decision every day in what's going to fill your mind, the Matrix will. They fuel you with things. They feel trash into your mind through mainstream media and the reality shows and this and that. So I choose to stay away from that, and then to fill my mind with working out, talking with people that's good for me, that creates value to my life, that we can have real conversations about life and what's the meaning of life and what is important. And that is also why we have created this podcast, because we want to create value, good quotes, good lessons, good focus, positive things. Because I think that to be happy, it is important to fill your mind with these kind of things, and also to take responsibility and to be responsible for your own happiness, and to stay on track, the positive track, the right path for you. And going back to this quote, I think that struggles and hard times is a natural way of life. We were talking about it in the last episode about stoic mindset, that there's so many things in life that you cannot control. External things will happen and you cannot control it, but you control how you respond to it. So how will you act when difficult time comes, when hard times comes? You have to take action. You have to be responsible of how you work your way out of it.
Absolutely. And we have to try to make ourselves and other tougher, yeah? People get weaker and weaker. That's why we have so much problem in the society and so much people about mental health and like this. So it's so important. We have to focus on good things, train, eat healthy food, and try to make us tough and make our children tough also, because it's a very hard life out there. So we have to try to make us robust, and also us grown people, we have to work on ourselves.
Definitely, that is a very good point. And for me, I've come to the realization that the 101% recipe is the solution for my happiness. So I'm trying to eliminate the things that doesn't make me happy, the things that try to drag me down, or the things that kind of put negative energy into my life, because it's not worth it. Life is so short. So for me, I have my prioritization list very strict these days. I know what is most important to me, and then I try to spend as much as time on those things as possible. The things that will help me achieve my goals, the things that will help me find success, find happiness. And then I eliminate the other things, because it needs to be black and white for me to stay on the right track. And life is very hard. There are so many things that happen that we cannot control. Illness, death, depression, struggles, real life issues. Life is hard. And I think that life is supposed to be hard. Life is a test. We're only here on borrowed time, and the time that we have here on earth is a test. There are good things and there are bad things. It is supposed to be challenges like that, so that we have to overcome them. We have to handle them in a good way. We have to stay close to our faith. We have to make the right decisions and try to eliminate the things that are bad for us. Stay closer to our faith, stay closer to the right decision. And I often think about life as a storm. Sometimes life will throw at you a storm, and it will be a hurricane. It will be raining sideways and snowing and windy. And you have to find that eye of the storm where things are calm, where you can think rationally. And then, as the bison is the only animal that just goes straight through the storm, because they know it's not an easy way, but it's the fastest way out of the storm, because you leave it instead of waiting for the storm to pass by, because that can take a long time. And I read a quote the other day that said that if you're walking through hell, keep going. Why would you stop there? And that is very true. I think it's important to keep your head up, whatever storm that you're going through, however you're going through hard times. Keep going, keep your head up, have hope, contact people that can help you through it. Sometimes we need people to carry that hope with us, because it's dark and we don't see the solutions, and sometimes we lose hope. We don't even hope that things can be better. And then it can be beneficial to talk to someone that knows that with time, things will become better. The hard times will pass. So let's walk through this together. Let's starting with this, going through this, maybe going out for an exercise, changing the environment, hanging with these good people. So life is not supposed to be so lonely. We have good people around us for a reason. We need to use them.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Tough time don't last, tough people do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no light without dark. It is tough time sometimes, and sadly, but it is like this. And the thing is good with it that when you have a tough time, when you start to have a good time, the good time get so much better because you have it tough before. But if you only have good times all the time, it wouldn't feel so good. So we need both, and we embrace the good times more after a tough time. But it's always important to have hope in the front that things will be better, and try to do many things for always make things better. Because if you keep going, things will be better in the future.
That is so true. And I'm going to share a story with you because hard times can be so much different. It can be not having a job, a divorce, a depression, anxiety. It can be so much different things. And life is hard sometimes. And we need to find hope and work on getting out of it. We need to have hope to carry us through those tough times. And George St. Pierre shared a story on his Instagram the other day. About an incident that happened during World War II in 1945, where USS Indianapolis sank after being torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. It was almost 1,200 crew members on board, and 900 of them survived the sinking. So they were floating around in the open sea. And this sea was shark infested. So after only 4 days, it was only 316 survivors still alive. And this story has become a legendary tale of survival and horror at sea. And I think that this is a horrible story about it is war, in World War II, they are sinking, then they survive it and try to stay alive, try to stay afloat in sea, and one after one are even sinking or being attacked and eaten by sharks. How do you find hope to stay afloat? Because staying afloat is also extremely scary, also an opportunity to be attacked and die. But these 316 men found hope, sticked with it, and survived. So this is an incredible story about how they overcame their tough times.
It's a great story, and I think it has been of course, been a nightmare to stay there and see your friends bitten in two pieces and think, "Am I gonna be the next one?" I think they have to try to find hope and maybe try to stay calm and hope you're not the next one. Well, it's terrible.
Definitely. Extremely horrific story and extremely inspirational to hear how they overcame that fear, how they held on to hope, and how these 316 people survived it.
Yeah, amazing story.
Mm.
When I hear your story, I remember a story I hear also. It was in the America, yeah. I'm not sure where, but one place in America, and it was a man who was out fishing outside of the coast, America, and have problem with his boat, and the boat went down, and it was around 4 hours to swim to the land, and it was also infected with a lot of shark in this water, and it was cold, and the man him start swimming. No, it was a lot of shark in the same water. It was cold, and it was so heavy for him. But the thing who make him keep going was the love of his wife and his children. He think about that all the time, and he was tired, but him stay calm, him just swimming, him start to become more tired, but it just keep going. And the love for his wife and his children was the thing that gave him hope and superpower. And him swimming for, I think it was 4 hours, and he went to the shore. He did survive. And it was the power of his loved children and the wife who saved him. So that was really hope.
That is so amazing. And I think that it's extremely important to always know your why, your purpose, who is most important to you. Who are you waking up to tomorrow? What are you waking up to tomorrow? What is your goal? And to always stay on track and have these things clear in your mind, because through tough times, it is easy to forget everything, to push everything aside. Slowly but surely, these things will come further away from you in tough times. So it is very important to have them as close to your mind as possible. Maybe reminders every day in your office or in your bedroom. As soon as you wake up, you see this listed out. Or so stay very close to your whys, chase your dreams, chase your goals, and have them very close to you as reminders every single day.
That's a very smart way to do it, yeah. You get reminded of it all the time. And now in Norway, or around 2 weeks ago, the 22nd December 2024, the sun did turn around, because it have been so dark now in Norway, and so short days because of the daylight. But the 22nd December, 2 weeks ago, the sun did turn around, and now every day the day start to become a little bit more longer every day. So it goes against brighter time. It's a long way to the summer, yeah, but it go against summer and brighter time. So that's I think I very happy that day, because okay, it's still dark, it's still so cold. Like this is winter, and it's many months left with winter, but it's go the right way. So I always very happy when that time happen, and I think about it every day. Same what happened in light, it go against brighter time. So I'm very happy when I think about that. So what about you? When do you reflect on this one, that you go against brighter time? Are you getting more happy?
It is very important to remember that hope is all around us, and through very hard times, it can be difficult to see that clearly. And then we need to kind of be prepared for the storms ahead. Know what is most important to you. What are your values? What are your visions? What are your whys and purposes? And have good people around you to share for each other all the time. So when you go through a tough time, it's easier for your friends to pull you through, because they know that you're going through it and they know where you're going. So they will keep on sharing for you to keep on the right track. And I wanted to tell you a story, because a few years back, I was in South Africa working in the ghettos in Cape Town. And I was at university to become a social worker. So this was a part of the practices that we went through. And it was a lot of people that we met that were going through extremely hard time. This was right before COVID hit, so we had to go home earlier than planned because of the lockdown, and Norway was going to close their borders, was the rumors and all of that stuff. So this was a very difficult time for them, through extreme poverty, and then COVID hit with lockdowns and the crime rates went up, and it was a lot of tough times for them. And me and one of my best friends were going to have a conversation with young girls at one of the schools in the ghetto about hope and dreams and education and these things. And I remember I asked Sally, the social worker that we met. She was an angel of a person, just extremely well social worker and awesome charisma. I really liked her. And I asked her, what do we say about like hope and dreams and ambitions? And she said that you have to remember that you can never take someone else's hope away without replacing it with something better. And if you cannot replace it with something better, you shouldn't take it away. And also, think about it. Every time that they hang up their clothes to dry, that is hope, because it is hope to wake up to another day tomorrow. And that completely changed my understanding. Hope is so many small things that before I would just drive past the places people would hang up their clothes and not even think about it. But after she told me Every time I would drive past someone's clothes hanging to dry, I would feel very happy, very hopeful, because it symbolizes something really nice. So hope is all around us. Just remember to look for it.
Small things, but big hopes.
Definitely. And I think it's also remember to look for it and also to work for it, because we are responsible of our own life, our own responsibility. And sometimes I can think that things are unfair or this and this, but it won't help me to sit down and think that things are unfair. So I need to work to get through those times. It doesn't matter so much to me if it is fair or unfair or this and that, because it's not going to be helpful. So I need to be responsible to create the solutions as well.
Absolutely.
So make the changes that are important for you to get out of the difficult situations. Be robust in life. Create yourself to be more robust through these challenges and work on your strength, your inner strength, and your physical strength to cope with these kind of things. And then you came back home to Norway. You were a single parent. You had a lot of debt. Things were difficult in relations because you had disappointed us extremely much and you had disappointed yourself. And what created hope in this period of time?
Great question. I think it was many things. Hope that I want to make life for my daughter much better. And I know I can do it if I start to work hard. So that was my the main reason, for I changed my life. And also I think about the future, and I know I can much out of life. So I believe that if you start working hard with yourself, you can make things better. So that was my hope to make my life better for my daughter, for myself, hope to make life better for my family, start to fix the relationship again, and just hope to get things better. It's difficult to say. It was many things. It was a very bad life, not in a good place. Didn't feel any happiness, and I see the future. People for my daughter and people around me, it was not good for their life, the way I was. So I think I tried to change. I also was a very alcoholic. So, I think I have reached the rock bottom, as they say. A lot of debt, not feel happiness in a shit life, and it was a nightmare every day to go through the day. But I have a little hope. I can make the life better, and I want to strive. And so turning point. I think it was many things together and a lot of pressure from the family too. I have to get to rehab and change myself. So it was many things, but I always have a little bit hope. And even if I feel it so bad, it was a nightmare every day. I feel not happy. Never want to give up, because you just always have to have hope, because things can be better. Same if you are in a very dark place. Just try to find small little hopes and start to work against it, and things will be better in the future for sure.
So if I understand it right, maybe what created hope for you was the contrast. You were in a really dark place and you just understood that I need to have it better. I need to get to a certain point where things are better. So then the contrast made the hope of something different, something better, maybe.
Yeah, that was spot on. Yeah, said it much better than I do. So that was good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it have to be the contrast. Yeah, contrast to a better life. Was a great point.
Because I think that sometimes we have some very specific things that create hope, but sometimes it might not even be that, but just the feeling that things are so bad, I need a change. That can be so powerful of a hope as well.
Absolutely. I remember the last time I drink for a whole month in Thailand, and drink me back in the airplane and the airport, and I went to Norway and start working the boat. Came in the boat and start working. Was very tired and couldn't sleep on 2 days, and was so hungry, but I couldn't eat too. It was very bad, and I start to eat a little bit again, and it was so hard time, because I was so exhausted mentally. I have not much hope in my life. I find one thing, I remember, because every night after the news in the local channel. A lot of viewers used to send a nice picture of the nature, yeah, in my province, and it was so nice music, and that was for around 1 minute every night. And I like it so much. Just sit down and look at the nice picture and the nice music. So that was one of the things who helped me through the days when I was at the sea. And I so excited all day. I have to use a lot of power just to get through the day. And I just so excited. In nighttime, I'm gonna sit down in my room alone and just look 1 minute of those nice picture of the nature around the place I came from with the nice music. And I remember one day I was so a hard day, and I just get through the day. I excited. Oh, soon 3 more hours. Now I gonna see this one and eat food and go to my room. And that day it didn't come, and I was so angry. I think 1 minute you cannot show me this one. 1 minute, because that it was something special that happened on the TV that day. Yeah. So I was so angry. This was around 11 and a half years ago or something. Yeah. But next day it was on again. So just small things like this, it just gave me hope to came through the days. And then I start to training better, work on my mind, and things get better and better, and I get more and more hope. So just small things like this can actually help you through the day, or even through hours and hours. So just if you have a very tough time, you just have to find small things you can look forward to, because that's helped me.
I'm very glad to hear that, and definitely small things can create hope. And I remember a story when we were youths. It was an organization called Courage in Norway that traveled around to youths at schools and had kind of seminars teaching us things and talking about good things, to be kind to each other and to have courage, say no to alcohol, say no to drugs and these kind of things. And the lady that came, she told us a story that this one person, when walked into a room, and it was so ugly. The entire room was ugly and old, and the painting was falling down from the walls, and all the pictures were ugly art, and it was just an awful atmosphere. But one picture was actually really beautiful. It was a painting, a very small picture that someone had painted. And so the person goes out, gets a flashlight, and walk back into the room. It's completely dark, and the person turn on the flashlight, so only the beautiful painting is shown in the room. Everything else is dark. And she reminded us that sometimes we need to have that flashlight and highlight the thing that is really nice, that is very helpful, that we need to focus about, because sometimes almost everything around us is so difficult and troubled that we need to have a flashlight vision into what is our goal or our purpose or the positive thing. And that can be helpful to eliminate the issues sometimes. And as a social worker, I've been working a lot with people in difficult situations. And at a certain point, I was working for the hotline, suicide prevention hotline, where people could call us when they were going through tough times, or oftentimes people could call us and talk about if they had suicidal thoughts or wishes or these kind of things. And then we learned a lot to carry the hope together with them, that sometimes maybe they would feel that things were hopeless, and then our job was to kind of carry the hope together with them and create hope that things will become better. Let's postpone the difficult things and let's focus about that things can be better, to create hope for them, to shed light on hope. And this is very important. You never know what people are going through, how difficult things are for people. So be kind, help each other, carry the hope together with people, highlight their good parts so that they will feel better about themselves. And I think this is the definition of a good relationship, that in a relationship, the other person becomes better when you highlight that person and you remind them of the good sides and let them grow, let them flourish and shine and be helpful, cheer people up. Don't go around and bring people down or be selfish or judgmental, or because these kind of things will become very difficult in a relationship. And I think that whatever you're going through, have hope that things will become better. Reach out to people that can help you. Shed light to the things that are important for you, your goals and your vision. And remember where you're going, the destinations, because you know that after the storm will end. It's not eternal. At one point it will end. And then where are you going? Keep your head focused and keep your step going forward to that point.
Great advice. Very good to help each other, yeah, because you're always stronger when you are two or more. You are in a team. And if you have a lot on your mind and you have tough time also, it can be so heavy to go and carry it alone. But when you tell someone, you can help each other, as you say on this. It was very smart way to help carry the hope. It was a really good one. And I think about when I learned to stop drinking. We used a 12-step, Alcoholic Anonymous. And we just learned when we're going to stop drinking. Just take one day at a time. And if that's so hard, you just can take even 1 hour at a time. Just focus on this 1 hour. And then you take the next hour. And you take the next hour. And then the rest of the day. So you just take little bit. And then you have a little bit hope in the front. So that's small steps can get you through tough times. So that's a very good technique I learned, and I will use in my daily life in many things, not just about the drinking and my alcohol addiction. So what is the thing that take you through tough times? So that is everything I have on my mind today, Annika. Is it something more you want to say before we wrap this up?
The only thing I had on my mind is that I often think that it's a long way to go down to the deep, dark place. And if you are on the wrong train, it's easier to get off on the next station because then the walk home won't be that far. So don't sit on the train for hours and hours in the wrong direction. If you feel that you're going in the wrong place, get off, go back. And this really is right for everything that goes on in life. You know where you're going, you know your destination, you know your path. Stay on the right path as much as possible. And if you feel that you're falling off, get back as soon as you can. Bring good people on your train with you going in the right direction, because it is very important to keep yourself accountable and to be present. As you say, if things are very chaotic and difficult, try to be mindful, be here and now, grounded, focused on what is important for you here and now, and have hope that things will become better. And reach out to people when you're in a good place. Reach out, help people to get into a better place. And when you are in a bad place, reach out and ask for people to help you and pull you through, go together with you through those storms.
Great advice. If you like this episode and feel that it gave you a lot of value, it will be great if you could share it with a friend. If you would like to donate a small amount to help us grow the show, we will highly appreciate that. The donation link is in our webpage, the 101percentpodcast.com, and the link is below. Today's episode was recorded January 3rd, 2025. And the next episode is about come back to check it out. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.